Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into the R2 KC6 Plus robot.
Mm.
It's this two-wheeled programmable bot aimed squarely at education. We've got quite a bit of material on its features, programming, the whole educational package, really.
Right.
So our mission today is to figure out what makes this little robot tick as a learning tool, especially, for anyone curious about coding or robotics.
Okay. Well, the first thing you notice is the build. It feels really solid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's made of this durable, compact metal. They say it's safe for kids aged 6+, which is great. And assembling it, apparently under half an hour.
Wow, that's quick.
It is. And it's not just like one static robot.
Mhm.
The kit gives you parts to build different kinds of mechanisms, too.
Okay, so it's tough and flexible. What about interacting with the world? Its senses.
Good question. It's got a microphone so it can react to sound, and an LDR for light,
LD.
light-dependent resistor. Basically, its electrical resistance changes with light levels, and it also has a simple contact switch for touch. Plus, for navigation, there's an ultrasonic sensor that's for obstacle avoidance and a specific track line sensor, so it can follow lines on the ground.
So quite a few ways to perceive things. How does it act on that information?
Well, the movement primarily comes from programming its two wheels, plus any other moving parts you might build with the kit.
Okay.
And it gives feedback. There's an RGB LED, capable of different colors, and a buzzer for sound, so visual and audio cues.
Right. Let's switch gears to the programming side. It runs on the Arduino platform, which is open source. Why is that a big deal for learners?
Open source is huge here. It means the design is public, so there's this massive community online, tons of help, examples, tutorials. It just makes getting started way easier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it uses this specific microcontroller, the ARD.icon. It's Arduino compatible, but has these simple RJ11 connectors for the sensors, which simplifies the wiring quite a bit.
And the ARD.icon software itself sounds like more than just a place to write code.
Oh, absolutely. It bundles in teaching materials, videos, guides,
Yeah.
supports multiple languages too, which is handy. But the really clever part is the programming itself.
How so?
It uses block-based programming. You drag and drop these graphics, symbols, icons to build your program logic. Super intuitive for beginners.
Like Scratch or similar tools.
Exactly. But here's the cool bit.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, it's simultaneously generating actual Arduino code, C++ and C code right there.
Oh, interesting. So you see the connection.
Precisely. It helps learners sort of naturally progress from visual blocks to text-based coding.
That's a neat way to bridge the gap. And I read something about testing the code before running it on the actual robot.
Yes, huge feature. There's a simulation mode in the software. It shows a virtual R2KC6 Plus with all its parts.
Okay.
You can run your block program in this virtual space and see what happens. Catch errors, debug, before you potentially crash the real thing. Saves a lot of frustration.
Yeah, I can imagine. A great safety net. What about when the robot is running? Can you see what's going on?
You can. The software offers real-time monitoring. It shows you the status of the actual connected hardware.
Like if the LED blinks on the robot, it blinks on screen.
Exactly like that. And you can view graphs of sensor readings over time, check the current values of variables you've programmed. It gives you that immediate feedback loop between code and hardware.
Let's quickly cover some tech specs. Anything keys stand out?
Well, it takes external power, 7 to 12 volts. The motors are spec'd at 6 volts, 100 RPM. It uses a triple sensor for line tracking. Seems quite precise. Oh, and the ultrasonic sensor's range is programmable. It also has Bluetooth for remote control,
Right.
though they do recommend disabling that when you're actually programming, just to avoid any potential interference.
Makes sense. And the kit itself sounds pretty complete.
It really seems to be. You get the controller, the key sensors like ultrasonic and track line, the Bluetooth module, LED, buzzer, motors, even a servo motor for more complex actions, plus tools, battery case. Pretty much an all-in-one box.
Okay, let's talk about the educational side, the ARD.icon EB subsystem. What's the teaching approach?
It seems quite structured. It offers a curriculum with activities you can do self-paced or with a teacher. It's provided in web formats like HTML5 and SCORM, so it can plug into things like Moodle. Each activity seems to have step-by-step guides, theory, diagrams, the block code, the text code, and even short practical video exercises. They really emphasize STEM engineering activities too, using things like the microphone and servo. Looks like lots of content per grade level.
And there's another part, ARD.icon CS. More for the teachers.
Yeah, exactly. That seems to be a classroom management system. Lets teachers create databases, track student progress, analyze results. It even mentions a virtual keyboard for login, more of an administrative tool for schools using it.
Got it. And finally, the activities there are over 80 examples listed. Just give us a flavor.
Sure. They range from simple things like start motion with sound or just turning on the LED to more involved projects like obstacle avoidance with visual notification,
Hmm.
understanding how the line tracker works, programming it to follow a square path, or even exploring sound generation like mimicking musical instruments. Quite a broad spectrum.
Wow. Okay. So pulling it all together, the R2 KC6 Plus feels like a really accessible yet comprehensive package for getting started with coding and robotics.
I think that's fair to say. The mix of the physical robot interaction, the
Yeah.
intuitive software that eases you from blocks to text code, and that real-time feedback. It seems like a very engaging way to learn.
Yeah, it definitely does. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? With that kind of range, focusing on core STEM ideas, how could a tool like this really reshape tech and engineering education right from the early years? Getting kids truly curious and honing those problem-solving skills.
Absolutely. Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought. Thanks for breaking this down with me today.